souped for this series. Are you kidding me? Magic versus VortiX. This is a repeat of the what was it? Red Bull Wololo qualifier in the semifinals or
No, 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 no. This was quarterfinal. Magic,
quarterfinals?
Magic Vortex in the quarterfinals of the Wooloo tourney.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
they
exciting.
had.
We talked
It
about the
is.
series before we started, and I told you back then it was an upset that VortiX took out Magic, but now I think VortiX has really cemented his place in the AOM Retold scene. And similarly, I think Magic has improved himself immensely since then. So this series should be a real banger of a series, like I said before.
I agree. I very much agree. I think in the early days of Retold, I think that Magic, by all means, we've talked about it before, and he's talked about it as well. He's had, it's not like he's a full-time gamer per se. People like Magic, people like Mista. Mista's a farmer, so his ability to play, definitely oscillates and whatnot throughout the year. And by all means, Magic has a full-time job and real life things. So he kind of started Retold with some hiccups, you could say. He, not quite hitting the expectations, I suppose you could say,
He was
that a lot
busy
of
with
us.
YouTube. Like Magic, you really gotta give him credit for it. Honestly, he's providing some really good stuff, especially for people who are
Yes.
serious about wanting to get good at Age of Mythology Retold. He more so than anyone else has really provided some really good stuff on YouTube for anyone who's wanting to learn this game, become better, and even just gain insight into what a good pro player is like when they're playing this video game.
Yeah, 100%. But I
Yeah.
think when he lost to Vortex, I think that was a little bit of a wake-up call where it's like, yes, his YouTube channel is gold. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Um, but so I absolutely agree. But I think that was a little bit of a wake up call where it's like, oh shoot, most people would think very much so underperformed, and he needs to kind of buckle down and get serious again. And since then, there was a little small underworld showdown tourney that he performed in. I can't remember exactly what happened in that one off the top of my head. He did not make it to the finals,
I think
however,
he lost to
but
Pegasus Rush, maybe.
ooh, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I casted his series against Shelty last week, and that was Magic showed up, baby.
That
Magic
was
showed up to
dominant.
play. Oh man, it was Shelty's a sick player, man. Now we could go into a lot of the, a lot of the analysis on that series, but the long story short is that Magic showed up and he just flew into the quarterfinals, which is this series today. Having said that, the big question for me is what Magic is going to show up today? Is it going to be the Magic that showed up last week against Shelty, or is it going to be the Magic that showed up in the Wooloo tournament?
Well,
I think
I
Vortex
think it's gonna be the
is.
Magic that showed up last time. I think Magic. I think he hated the fact that he performed so poorly in the
Yeah,
qualifier. Like at least according to he's got that name right. He is
yeah,
Magic. He's the goat of AOM, one of the goats.
yeah.
So he cannot not be like at least in the finals. This guy, he
Well,
wants
he's under
he wants to
he's
perform well.
underperformed. Sorry, Sue.
Go ahead.
Well, he's underperformed so far, so he needs to hit his mark. And having said that, with him just blasting into the quarterfinals, and with Mista dropping a game against Super FEM, Mista showed a little scale, one of the missing scales in his dragon scale, right? We got
Achilles heel for sure.
yeah. And so, I wonder if there's, let's see if this is Magic's run. Let's see if this is Magic's run. He still has several series to go in order, speed bumps to drive over in
Talk
order
about
to get there.
let's talk about the
Anyway,
draft here. We see a Thor
yes.
band from Magic, Set band from VortiX. Interesting.
Mm.
And then we see a Ra, Gaia, Loki, Isis, and then Kronos in the end for Magic. Odin, Poseidon, Hades, Zeus, Uranus. I see for if you're asking me, I would say that I see a lot of strong gods on the side of Magic. Ra, Gaia, Loki, even Isis. I would say are really really strong right now.
Why Kronos again? I don't want to go back to Kronos and focus on him too much, but he's had all. In fact, has he had a complete straight losing
Yes.
r- straight right?
Yeah. It's only been losses. I think it's zero, 0 wins, 9 losses by now, maybe.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So is Magic gonna bring the magic and get a win with Kronos? Maybe he won't even get an opportunity to go, to actually use Kronos. We'll
I think
see.
we might
It's a
see him on Kalauger, perhaps. Like, he does
hmm.
have that deconstruct on the dock, which is super annoying to play against. Could be that, but other than that, I imagine maybe Watering Hole, where you can do a really good 2 TC boom and still have resources available to you. I'm wondering what he's got in store with the guy with the Kronos pick, because who did he not go for? He did not go for
Piranhas.
who is on? Oh, Frey. Frey is unpicked. I don't think Magic likes
Oh,
playing him, but Frey, dude, Frey is good on. Can you imagine Watering Hole or
I definitely
Savannah?
can.
Yeah, Watering Hole Blue Lagoon. I can imagine Frey being super strong here. So, I mean, that tells me he must have something in store for Kronos. The fact that he doesn't pick Frey for one of those two maps, he must have something up his sleeve.
Indeed. Well, what we're gonna see first is Gaia against Poseidon. Gaia for Magic and Poseidon for VortiX on Blue Lagoon. We kind of saw a version of that, Gaia against Zeus, in that previous game, Mista and Super Afim. It's very different though. Poseidon is very different from Zeus. But I don't think it's well.
I think it's
I
very Gaia favored. I don't know if I said
very
it. Yeah, I would say so. I think Poseidon's really struggles versus Gaia. Gaia can get that weightless mace, which counters Hibbius. We're about
yeah,
to get into the game. Vortex
yeah.
better have something really nice up his sleeve.
Alrighty, let's go. Alrighty, folks. Game number one. Final match for the day. We have Magic here in the blue playing Kronos, or not, yes, Kronos. Sorry, no, Gaia. We're playing Gaia on the left side of the map. Right side of the map, we have VortiX, the Spaniard, the RTS legend. He is playing Poseidon with 3 starting giraffes. Does the starting amount of hunt matter all that much, Soup? What's your take as the build order king?
I mean, there's 4 giraffes here. It doesn't
There's
matter
3.
too much.
Oh, there's 4. There's one hiding behind the lure. I didn't see that. Oops.
Yeah, it's always consistent. It is consistent on Blue Lagoon at least.
Oh.
Magic, he's building an economic guild. Hello, Magic, this is 2024 and you're getting economic guild? Eh,
He clearly didn't watch the previous series,
he
Mista
must
versus
have
Super.
he must have taken a shower, a power shower before that. I think that's what he does to prepare for the big games.
Uh, Seriously though. Well, okay. Having said that, forward gold mine here. That I highly doubt that there's going to be much aggression there. But I don't know. We're looking for windows of opportunity here for VortiX. VortiX has great microman. He's a if people don't know VortiX is he's an RTS legend. He's been a top a top player, competitor, esportser in so many different RTS games. So by all means, kind of the name of the game here is Magic is the AOM goat, and VortiX is an RTS goat, I suppose you could say. So the goats are going to lock horns today. See who comes out on top this time around.
Vortex, he deserves real credit because a lot of the people we see in this tournament, they're old faces in the AOM scene. But Vortex, he's brand new. And we've
Yeah.
seen a lot of really good RTS players giving it a go at Retold. But, Vortex, he's the only one who's really seemed to struck gold in this game. And he's stuck around. And we see even now, he's like one of the favorites to even win this tournament. It's really, really impressive.
100% agree. And hopefully that's to kind of get outside of this game real quick for a second. Hermes coming in, by the way. Nice advance time. That's a fast advance time, 3:30.
Yeah, I think
I
it's standard for Poseidon because you don't have
okay.
to spend wood on that granary, meaning you can get a very, very nice archaic age build order in. And then the question is, does he want to follow it up with heroes and Hibbius, or is he going to go for a straight second TC? That's what's going to be interesting to see.
Actually, I was going to comment on, well, real quick to finish that thought, Soup. It just, if other players see, like Beastie, for example, he was playing AOM for a bit, but if other players see success from VortiX, a non-AOM player, I want to say that that's almost inspiring for other RTS players to kind of get into the mix and, give it a whirl. But anyways, having said that, I don't. If you look at Vortex's second town centers, none of those really scream "take me," as a 2TC play.
One on the left there is pretty good with gold mine, don't you think? There's even some hunt in just a bit on top of it. This one is honestly, Maiden, I disagree. These
You
TCs,
disagree?
yeah, I mean these are about not as good as it gets on Blue Lagoon, but almost. Both have hunt, both have gold mines nearby, and see how, dude, this TC in the bottom, it's protected by the river. It's really, really good.
Now that I actually noticed that it's protected by the river completely, that's actually a fair point. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what he actually goes for, though. Centaur
Up here by
putting pressure on
VortiX with the
goal.
Centaur dealing a lot of damage, forcing some idle time here, and bit of a blunder maybe in hindsight from Magic, not totally protecting this gold mine with the Gaia Forest in the manor. Could have been placed a bit better to avoid this from happening.
What's Magic going for? We see counter barracks popping up there.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be,
Terma.
oh, Terma. I was gonna say it's gonna be Hero Catapultis like we saw Mr. Was it Mr. who did it earlier? Either way, I really like that
Ulysses.
opening against Poseidon, but he's going for Termas.
The town center, well, there we go. He just paid VortiX in the red. He just paid for a TC. Let's see which one he's going for. He's going for the front one.
Top one. I mean, this is still a good town center. There is a gold mine and there's giraffes on top of that TC, so both are really good options.
I don't know about really good options, but give me some credit. I don't know about really good options. They're perfectly acceptable. How about that? They're acceptable.
You know what I'll give you is you only saw the mini map, but then taking a closer look, yeah, we got a bit wiser. That's dude. Did you see that hero oracle kill by the Atalanta there? That's huge. The hero or the regular oracle costs 100 resources, and then heroizing it costs an additional 100 resources. So that's 200 resources and 2 favor for what it's worth. It's a really, really big pick-off, especially considering there's Caladria nearby. That honestly shouldn't be happening, but VortiX makes it happen.
Very true. Very true. TC is in, by the way. Giraffes are getting eaten. Back, by the way, real quick, as we're going to see in this corner, left-hand corner real quick, Gazelle Patch. Far left-hand corner real quick. There's a delicious Gazelle Patch that Magic is sitting on. Oh yeah, there's, how many are there? 4, 5 gazelles right there? Maybe it's not as delicious as I thought, but still super nice, man. Really nice.
Yeah, very well protected at the very least, and conveniently placed behind your base.
For sure.
VortiX, I gotta say, he's looking strong here. He got that really nice Oracle hero pick off, and he's got that second TC built without any struggle whatsoever, and only just now Magic is trying to get some damage stealth here in the front of the base here, but he's got to be careful, dude. That's so close. Losing a Catapultis hero here would be devastating.
Yeah.
Having those Caladrias, you gotta make good use of them, meaning you don't lose 1 HP. Hello.
Well, but at the same time, Soup, like, since VortiX went for the second town center, and he advanced first, sure, he has a little bit of some initiative on the map, and so it's taken Magic advancing later, had taken time to make some military. It's taking him some time to be able to fight back, so to speak. So, VortiX is in a good position right now, but he doesn't have the same amount of military as Magic. So I think Magic has a window of opportunity here. Hit the chickens here, hit the giraffes on the top side, continue, find woodlines. I think he has some initiative here. And he could cause problems. Wow.
So close. He's getting the second
TC. A lot of problems here.
He's taking the second TC now while still applying pressure on the map, like you're saying. So that is definitely good, but I don't think he's really dealing a lot of damage, and he certainly has to be careful not to lose units here to the Centaur, to the Atalanta.
He can, though. That's kind of what I'm saying, though. I think he can if he, if he plays it right. I think there's a window of opportunity here before there's a lot of Greek units on the field.
The Pacify on the Centaur with Hero Termas nearby, very, very effective.
Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why it's such a good matchup for either Uranus or Gaia, is because Oceanus against the whole Greek package, so nice.
Is that centaur gonna get sniped? Yo, that thing's on like 1 HP. Click
Even
it,
if it
click
does
it,
get,
click it.
well, it does get sniped. I was gonna say even if it doesn't get sniped, it's still. What are you gonna do with a 1 HP centaur? It's hard to really get value out of it.
Oh, how dare you? You know, Vortex is an Aphrodite. Ooh, Vortex is a micro king. I'm sure he can make good use of a 1 HP centaur.
Huh. This is an interesting playstyle by VortiX. Has he built a single regular human? He hasn't built a single regular human military unit yet.
Mm-mm.
So
Just
he's
now.
gonna go heroic now, and he will get Hippolyta out surely, and then maybe even look to make Peltasts to counter these Termas.
He's got stables coming out though. I don't know about Peltas. At least that's one stable. I don't know what that other building is. Yeah, double stable. Why go double stable in Aphrodite? What is there? He was not going Padromos, right?
It could be Prodromos. You know, Termas are cavalry, so the Prodromos are anti-Terma units. They're super fast, so not only do they deal counter damage to them, they also outrun them.
Actually, Contarius as well, right?
Oh yeah,
Counter
true.
Contarius as well. It's
But
it's very preemptive, but you know, in the
yeah,
long run.
they do get. They don't have a lot of pierce armor though. They have a lot of hack armor because they're anti-cavalry, obviously. But then they
Mhm.
will melt to the Arcus, so that's something to be careful for. Aphrodite in
Well,
now, and this is where it gets interesting with VortiX. What does he have in mind here?
well, he's pushed. Look, he's pushed his food economy. I maybe think that Padromos are not the way to go. And you see, he's dropping a couple of archery ranges in his base. If you
Yes.
look at his base, he took the giraffes, he took the chickens, he already ate almost all of his goats. He's on a couple of berries. Yeah, he's got a goat left. And actually, I mean, boom, there we go. We see a couple of Padromi coming out. Anyway, he doesn't quite have the food eco to actually spam Padromos.
Yeah, and and the fact that he's building farms now as well tells me it's going
Yeah.
to take quite a while before he does. Although, if he can
Yeah,
manage to secure the gas sales up here, which he should be able to do with Curse, he will be
true.
able to do it in no time. Thea coming in for Magic now. I also
Yeah.
saw just before he heroized like 5 Termas
Oh,
simultaneously, so he does not want to get overrun by that Nemean line or more than one if Vortex should get that idea.
yeah. Is that he's got medium infantry coming in as well. I don't think he's gotten any eventually vodka let's take a look at this raid, see if he finds these citizens hunting down here. Eventually I want to see what his upgrades are on the catapultes once we have a minute to do so. This is a good raid, man. Just tons of idle
Yeah.
time. Tons of idle time. Okay, just medium so far, so nothing too sketchy
Yeah,
on the
no
side of
weightless
Vortex.
maze. I think that's
Yeah.
because Magic is hoping to just go Contarius Arcus, like
Mm,
seems to be cookie cutter standard for Gaia these days.
mm.
Well, I say is that the caster curse you just talked about?
Caster curse, man. They hear what we say, they feel it in the ether, and they decide to just screw us over with the exact opposite. Ooh, we almost have a building block right there to catch the Padroma. Podromi, as some would say.
Right, right. Interesting. So, this is actually a unit composition I have never seen before.
Mm.
Prodromos, Toxotes, and he's adding in Peltests now. It's such a peculiar unit composition, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing how it's going to work out.
Well,
Curse
we
use.
say ooh.
Oh, it's such a good curse.
Oh, yeah.
This is a really good
Oh,
curse.
Carnivora there. Yo, that Carnivora is gonna do some damage. I'm not even joking. The Carnivora does so much damage against villagers. Yo, check it out, man. Look, there's a bunch of weak HP vills down here, man. If Vortex isn't careful, he's gonna lose eco here. It's not the biggest,
Don't they have a pretty significant? Yeah, they only deal quarter damage to villagers. These carnivores, so
Oh, we got the picture-in-picture. Vodka's on point. Oh, that is so sick, dude.
this is what we're
So
here for.
this is what we're here for, baby. Look at that. Look at that Carnivora go to town on those
It is going to
villagers, man.
town. It's actually impressive with a 0.25 multiplier versus villagers, and it's still dealing
Dude,
this much.
look at those vines going nuts. That thing's going
Meanwhile,
nuts.
Vortex is doing a great job with this weird, really weird composition. Prodromos, Hippias, Toxotes, and even a few Peltests to boot.
Yeah.
He just killed so many hero Termas there as well. Ah, the lion, though, bit of a weird path it's taking here. And this is rough, losing this much HP on the lion, even if it's the weightless mace hero catapultes. It's such a good unit.
Yeah. Those things are brutal. Fortress coming up. We didn't look at relics, Vodka. We didn't look at relics. I know not the most important thing to be looking at right now, small trickle of gold. But, you know, if the players haven't gotten them just yet, they're probably not going to get very many. Padromas are not really very good raiders, but at the very least, if you have enough of them, by all means, you can do some damage to the economy. Doing a bit of damage now.
These are the infamous hero citizens with survival equipment, surely, right? They have that
Probably.
upgrade. Oh, I don't think they do. Oh, they do. They do. Okay. No. Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, so the hero citizens very, very strong there, and they actually still took down one.
Oh, those maces. Oh, don't even do it, VortiX. Are you kidding me? Padromos against...
Yeah, Padromos, I was about to say, Padromos and Catapults is such a brutal fight to ever take.
Seriously. Come on. Just forget about him. Let's see how fast those things die. Just forget him about him, VortiX. Come on.
Enjoy the bloodbath.
Yeah.
So Magic looking good here. The semi-fast heroic with that initial power spike. It did seem to have some form of effect, but ultimately VortiX really kind of unable to do some serious damage to Magic. And now Magic is the one who's pushing forward, trying to see what VortiX is up to.
But hang on, Soup. Who has an advantage right now? If you look at their military, you look at their economy, you look at, both on 2 TCs, blah, 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 blah. There's already a fortress up that unlocks the Mythic Age, not that it's happening anytime soon. Who has the advantage here? Anybody? Either of them?
I think Magic has the advantage, but the good thing is that, like, this is always the case. Like I said, Greek will outscale most opponents, but you see the pressure that Gaia is able to put on here. Now Magic is forcing a fight, so having this ability to outscale your opponent, you gotta just attack sometimes and not make that a factor.
Dude, these may not be Hades archers, but those Tox and Peltas, I don't know if he has ballistics queued up. VortiX has ballistics queued up. Oh, dude, they could just,
There's so
those
many
things.
of them, and the Peltas with that 19 range. Dude, if you have good micro, which I think it's fair to say that VortiX does, the Peltas are an amazing unit.
Yeah, man, for sure. That was a good hold there. I actually thought the TC was going to go down, but that was a good hold right there.
I love this palace here. Doesn't really cover anything in particular, but just having it there, the presence of this palace does so much for Magic.
And it unlocks Mythic, remember? And it unlocks Mythic.
Yeah, for sure.
So it does secure those gold mines fairly well up on the top side.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. They don't actually cover it, but then they don't
Yeah.
need to totally cover it, because just having the palace there means that if there ever is a skirmish there, then the palace is going to assist, and that's going to be very, very useful.
Yeah. I think, real quick, by the way, there's rhinos up there. That is just delicious. Fortified TC coming in. That's going to be very valuable because VortiX has forgotten to rebuild his forward TC. Both players going for third TCs, as we just were shown. But yeah, that forward TC, at least get one Vil, dude. At least one Vil to... Oh,
he stopped the TC so he can go Helios.
Yeah, he's up through... Is that Helios? It is it? Yes. Atlas, rather.
Atlas, sorry. Atlas. That's so sick. That's the kind of play I would never make, but Magic realizes, or he says in his head, the implode timing here is what matters more so than anything else. So even though I'm kind of setting my economy behind by stopping the TC, that is, what was it, 20% build, all he really cared about there is getting the proper implode timing.
Yes. Implode could be so brutal, dude. If he pushes with an implode, it's a pretty big army that VortiX has. There's a bunch of villagers there. The TC is weak. I don't believe he's repairing it just yet. Implode could if he forces a fight there and then uses implode, that could be very painful.
Implode, a god power that can be very hit or miss. These days, since it's so strong, usually it's a hit. But you can use implode if you're pushing your opponent onto, say, a gold mine where there's a big fight. You can hit both villagers, an army, and buildings. If you do that, you get triple the value of implode in some sense.
Oh yeah.
So that's that's the kind of stuff you're looking for when you're using implode. But at the same time, VortiX not really in the mood to let that happen. So when you smell the Mythic Age coming in for Gaia, you start going aggressively so you don't get your villagers or buildings implicated in that implode.
Do you think he can smell it? First of all, we have some serious aggression here from VortiX. His army could get imploded here in about 20-30 seconds or so. Okay, so Ooh, and the Dryads are going hard on the farmland, the economy of VortiX. Soup, question for you. VortiX, VortiX started playing Age of Mythology with the release of Retold. Does he have that game sense? Does he have that mythic sense where he can sniff it? Magic has been playing AOM for many moons, and there's the what is it called? The implode coming in. What's it gonna suck up?
It's huge. It's a big one. It's a big one.
Is the one Padromo's gonna get out? He is. There we go. Bye bye, military.
Okay, few of them surviving. Dude, implode is such a crazy god power.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What happened here? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I wonder what's happening here. Can we just...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. The game resumes, and looking at VortiX's population now, 172 out of 235. So he's trying to rebuild after that implode. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here.
Yes, absolutely. Dude, Soup, he gets knocked off of this gold. Oh, a little bit of a raid up top. But remember that super safe gold mine down below? That thing is so clutch right now because VortiX's gold mine just runs out on his top TC. And, oh, Bubby. Oh, dude.
Are available. Can he take the town center he lost with it? Or does he even have the resources for it? It does seem like it now. But, dude.
Look at those vills. Look how weak those vills are back on that TC. They're rebuilding the TC. Look at all the vills.
There's only 13 seconds remaining as well.
Dude, those things are so dead. Oh my god, those things are so dead, right?
Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh my god, so many low HP citizens too.
Dude.
Think VortiX will get this up? Ooh, unless... Oh, that's so smart what Magic is doing here. He's targeting the unbuilt town center. And it takes so much extra damage because it's unbuilt. And yeah.
Instantly deleted, and Champion Cantarius comes in. Soup, look at those villagers. How are they still alive? They're so weak. They're hungry. Oh, the Patromos against the Cantarius, but the Cantarius are beautiful and golden. Is the town center going to go back up? Are you kidding me? Is VortiX holding this?
This is crazy. How does VortiX, first of all, how is he able to afford the TC once again? After having
How's he alive? How is he alive? Are you kidding me? The TC is up. He must have divine blood. Are you kidding me? Magic has to retreat. Are you kidding? Dude, is this bugged? All of the units that we're looking at, golden apples, that's not divine blood for the faster. Dude, how did he get that TC up so fast? Those villagers were almost dead. They're like, hurry.
I don't know.
Unbelievable, man.
This VortiX, he's pulling some real tricks up his sleeve here. But
how's he still alive?
Yeah, this is some real, like, it's a good raid here for Magic, and Magic doesn't have any siege weapons right now, does he? He's building destroyers now. I don't know how many he's got in his army, if it is enough to fit in that town center. He's getting more, though. He's got 2 palaces, 3 palaces, even just pumping out those destroyers, knowing he needs it. He has to push his advantage here, cannot stop pushing, and it's what he's doing.
He has to push here. He has 3 just palaces up on this top. Okay, ta-da! There we go. Magic with the first victory. Magic wants to make his mark in this series. It is the revenge match for Magic, trying to get the revenge against VortiX, and he succeeds 1-0. Soup, are you surprised?
I called it before, didn't I, that this is a really good matchup for the Gaia player. And I think VortiX did a tremendous job early on. I think he played it really, really well. Did some nice damage with the early centaur. Got his early second TC much sooner than Magic did. But then even all the way up until the 18-minute mark, look at the red graph there.
Yes, yeah.
The implode was just so big.
Well, here's the thing, as the resource is just not as different as you might think, with Magic being that Gaia player. Here's the thing, since VortiX is an RTS legend, remember, he doesn't have as much Age of Mythology experience compared to Magic. So with VortiX pushing out on that town center, I'm sure he smelled blood in the water. He's a shark. He smelled blood. Wow, check that out. And so he goes forward for the kill because he smells blood, but little does he know, there's actually a big fat implode, coming in to delete his army.
What is the alternative? Okay, the only alternative you can do is to split up your army in two in a perfect 50-50 distribution, and then Implode will have a hard time getting that much value. But that
Yeah.
is difficult to do too, because you want to be able to really actually push somewhere. And if you're unable to have more than 50% of your army in one location, it can be really difficult.
Indeed. I agree. What do you do against Implode? Maybe it's OP. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
this you've said this a bunch of times, or you've attempted to say it a bunch of times at least. This is the old patch. This is not the most current patch. And the patch that we had 2 days from now, the day before yesterday, we did see Implode going from 50 divine damage to 40 divine damage.
True. It is a difference, you know. So, but
And
even so, it
yeah,
still would have been
I'm not,
brutal.
it's really brutal. And I'm not even sure what 50 and 40 divine damage means here in this context, because it deals more than 50 damage. We saw that here. It took out like an entire army.
I still think that the game would have happened the same. VortiX would have had perhaps some units left over after the implode if we were playing on the patch with nerf
Yeah,
implode.
yeah.
Anyways, having said that, Soup, I just saw the timer. We're jumping into Kerlauger, Zeus, VorTX's Zeus pick against Isis. Isis for what? Isis for Magic. I
This
don't
is
know what this means. This
Magic
is
thinks this.
interesting.
Magic says this is Anatolia. I'm picking Isis.
Well, he might be in for a rude awakening there, Buster. Are we ready to jump into game two? If we are, let's jump in, baby. I want to see. I want to see what Magic is going to do. This is interesting.
Maybe not quite yet, but I expect, like when I say that Anatolia, it's because Kalauga in many ways looks a lot like Anatolia. And if
Yeah.
you can play it like that with Isis, just go fast, heroic, take control of the middle, and then all you have to really care for is to look at the sides, that there's not gold mines hidden in the corners or something.
Well, I'm very curious because, like I said, okay, here we go. Game number two incoming. Welcome to game number two, folks. VortiX in the blue. This is his home map pick. He decides to go with Zeus in the blue, top right. On the bottom left side, we have Magic with a little bit of a first. Magic going in the red, going for Isis. So, Soup, earlier today, we were casting, I can't remember who. Was it Recon? The more common picks that I've seen on Kerlauger has been mainly Greek with a little bit of Atlantean thrown in for some, for some whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Isis on Kerlauger. So you think that Magic is going to treat this like Anatolia? And Egyptian in general, but especially Isis really strong on Anatolia in general. But the big difference here is that this water is traversable. Human units can walk along the water. So just going for straight boats is not necessarily the play. So what is Magic going to go for here against VortiX as the Isis player? What's the deal?
Well, it's a guessing game because, like you say, I honestly cannot recall the last time I saw an Egyptian played here. Like you
Yeah.
say, Greek stock standard here, Hades, Zeus in particular being played here a lot, and then yeah, Atlanteans. But then Isis really new. So what I suspect, Magic is probably thinking here is that some form of fast heroic, utilizing that early fish economy in particular, is going to be effective because you can follow it up with maybe even a forward Migdal if you can do that. Like you can do that on Anatolia a lot of the times. Maybe try to sort of mirror that kind of playstyle here on Kerlauga. I imagine maybe something like that.
Well, having said that, real quick, I've casted a couple of games of VortiX choosing Kerlauger, and from what I've seen off the top of my head, I think he's gone for Hades rather than Zeus, and his preference seems to be to go for typically a second town center, a forward second town center. Maybe that's his Hades strategy, or that aggressive Athena play with hoplites and whatnot. We saw that a little bit earlier. So I wonder which one he's going to choose. So regardless, I guess my point is that he kind of focuses on land army. even if he does go 2 TCs, he still focuses on land army rather than water military. So if Magic plays this like Anatolia, if he starts making military ships to fight on water, perhaps that could work, sure. But I'm not so confident in that, man. You mentioned like the fact that like dropping Migdal in the middle, gold play for the middle, that sort of thing. I don't know how well that's going to work if VortiX does, what I kind of assume or what we've seen him do in the past with focusing on land army in the middle.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics at play as well, because if VortiX goes Hermes, he's got a decent counter to Ancestors Eclipse, or a good counter to Ancestors Eclipse with Ceasefire. Whereas if he goes for Athena, he will get hit really hard by the fast heroic. And a bit of a guessing game on both players' ends. Like, what does my opponent want to achieve here, and how do I counter it the most?
True.
So a lot of that has to come into play here. Like, these players have to play reactively to what both of them are doing. And especially Magic, I think, has to consider, is it Athena or is it Hermes? And if it is Hermes, Magic probably has to play a bit more conservatively, where he doesn't go for any fast heroic, but he's just sort of slowly expanding his economy. And if he sees Athena, that could be his opening to go for a super fast heroic with Ancestors Eclipse on the economy immediately.
AE on the eco right away. What we've
Probably
seen.
looking to use Prosperity now, right?
By the way, we got Bass coming in, and we got Hermes. It is Hermes, by the way, for VortiX.
Hermes, the safe choice here, means that both players are just going to play reactively, and we could potentially see both players going for a second TC here. Although the forward one is very forward, and the safer one is kind of bad. So yeah, I don't know if these players are going to go for it or not, if they will opt for it or not.
Excuse me. How about VortiX's economy? He's got 17. Wow, that's a lot of fishing ships. 1777. Again, I don't really know what that means. Does that mean town center play or military play, or sorry, hoplite play? A lot of dog spam for
Eight
Magic,
on
which
gold.
I like.
8 on gold is a lot. Could be a fast heroic, could be TC.
A fast heroic? What, for Skilla?
Yeah.
What?
There's an armory.
Oh my god, that's an armory. Click on it, Vodka. Click on it.
It is an armory. He just clicked it.
What? Wow. Okay.
So, playing as Zeus, you have that starting favor, and we do see VortiX not even praying at the temple with as much as one bill bolt on the Sphinx here. And that's a dead villager, isn't it?
That's a dead villager, but that's also a forward pharaoh. Yo, he dropped an obelisk forward. He stops the dock from going up. Are you kidding me?
Who sent the pharaoh forward at this stage? VortiX must be scratching his head. That's such a cool play by Magic. Like, I don't know. I never see Isis player do this, but pays out tremendously.
I'm scratching my head as well, dude. Are you kidding me? What in the world? And he's got cabinets coming out on that top side of water. Bottom side, he's just got a couple of dealy hoppers fishing away.
Dionysus is coming in. There's 4 villagers praying at the temple. We have 200 gold already accumulated. There's 6 more villagers on gold. I think there's going to be a lot of Scylla roaming these rivers of Kalauga very soon.
Yeah, Harmonious Necklace that Vodka just showed, so a little bit extra gold income because of the relic. Alrighty then.
You know what this means? What this means is that the Scylla are inevitably going to get a lot of value, and I imagine VortiX will be winning the rivers. So what looked like to me was going to be a slow game, it's going to be a much faster game. There will be a lot of pressure on Magic to make something happen on land as soon as the Scylla start getting value on water.
Well, by all means, he already sent his Pharaoh forward one time, plus the priest is already forward, so, there's maybe some counterplay against skill there. Maybe.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Pharaoh, priests should be able to deal good damage to the water myth unit, right?
They are ranged.
Do we see Scylla on both sides already? Was that what we just saw?
Is that the upgrade for
There's
Scylla?
There's one here on the left. That's probably the starting one, and then we see another one being built over on the right side now.
Yeah. Prosperity
Cease.
coming in here, Soup. So is he using Prosperity to maybe pop a couple of? I guess we'll find out soon enough what Prosperity is for. Actually, looking at the economy, it looks like Magic may be targeting Heroic. There he goes. Neft is coming
Drusilla
in, a
on the
bunch of ramming
left.
galleys.
Dude, ceasefire used now. You know, this and Neft is coming in for Magic now. So Magic
Yeah,
has to figure out himself now. Do I use Ancestors Eclipse on the economy to deal a lot of damage to, well, yeah, the economy, or do I wait to accumulate an army and get a really big push in? Now we see the two Scylla going to town here, and they're so strong. A
a
third Scylla
third,
coming in as well,
a Hydra too, man. We
and a
got we got
Hydra.
the Jurassic Park over here, baby. Hello.
Water
Where the
dinosaurs,
pterodactyl?
land dinosaurs, all of it. The
Yeah,
priest,
baby.
they're doing a decent job by the looks of things.
We got a third coming in, man. I like how this and the Pharaoh as well. You see,
Yeah.
spears against Jason, I suppose, and then the range. You see the Skilla gotta stay in the water, whereas the priest can just range him from the shoreline, essentially. I don't know if Skilla is really the best play against against Egyptian, I suppose, in general, man.
Yeah, maybe not. He did go through Dionysus, so he can actually get that really nice Hydra upgrade, which makes both Scylla and Hydra regenerate 2.5 HP per second. Can be good in a scenario like this where you've got 3 damaged Scylla and Hydra. But
Hmm.
Magic, he's gone Nephthys now, and I don't know what he's going to do now. Is he going to continue fighting water? He's got Persei now. He's targeting down this stock. He's got plenty of priests here to deal with the Scylla. You're absolutely right. The Scylla are not paying off the way that
Yeah.
Magic is playing here.
I mean, I think that's why Prosperity came in. He used Prosperity. Sure, it depleted his gold mine, and there's Ancestors Eclipse in the base, dude. Where are the heroes? Where are the heroes?
Oh, it's
Where
gonna
are the
be
heroes?
big.
Oh, dude.
There's only room for 10 villagers in this house, and there were many more villagers than that. So VortiX forced to un-garrison. He's losing a lot of vills there. Meanwhile, on the left, the Leviathan is being blessed by the Eclipse, and all those hills have gone down now, and Magic is definitely taking over the left side here.
Oh, Heracles, we can see down in the bottom corner, Jason and Heracles going hard. Trying to go hard, at least, on those Ancestors, doing a good enough job, but still a decent amount of eco damage done in the base and now on the fishing economy as well. Magic is sitting pretty here, man. He's sitting pretty. That Ancestors Eclipse looked scary, and it was decently handled by VortiX, but it still did damage, man. And there's a lot of damage up here on the fish as well.
Yeah, Magic, not only did he just win the left side of the water here pretty comfortably, although VortiX is looking to still contest it, but he also killed, I think, 4 or 5 villagers while that Ancestors Eclipse was going on, and this just means that Magic now has a very, very nice economic lead over VortiX, but this is nice for VortiX. It's a heavy infantry army with a nice 2-headed Hydra.
Very true. And actually, again, that land army can just completely come back on water and take over the water if you really wanted to.
Yeah, 5 hammer ships here. They're gonna make things difficult for VortiX. Wonder what VortiX is gonna do now. He's moving forward. I'm sure Magic by now has built a Migdal, although he's still making barracks units, so could be no Migdal actually.
Man,
Bronze here. Again,
force.
we've seen
Go
this
ahead.
so many times today. Bronze cast, and then the opponent just says, all right, I'm out of here, goodbye. And then it's so hard to really get any value out of the bronze, as seen right
Indeed.
here.
But even so, like, even without bronze, I don't know if that was a good fight for him to take regardless, because, I mean, there's a good number of Hippospis mixed in with the Hoplites against a bunch of spears and a couple of axemen. I'm not so confident about that, even without bronze, man.
No, maybe not, but this is hard for VortiX to get value here. He's trying his... This is not quite working out for him, is it? It shouldn't work out. He's targeting down some of the wood choppers here, which should be nice.
Even so, okay, fine, that's some kind of value. He is a couple of villagers behind in the military, but he's not ahead enough. Exactly, he doesn't do enough damage, and VortiX calls it, man. Kid, real quick, Vodka, if you don't mind, can we click view map? I think there was a Scorpion Man or something like that hitting the gold mine of VortiX. There was something over there. Yeah, dude, a Scorpion Man hitting the gold mine, or rather wood line of VortiX right there. So very well done by Magic with a little multitasking action.
This
Bravo,
this is
dude.
so brutal when you're playing Greek. You only have access to 2 or 3 heroes, and then having to send one of them against the Scorpion Man, and even then the
Yeah,
Scorpion Man outruns you. It's very, very brutal.
yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, ISIS for the win? Was ISIS just a fortuitous counter pick to the strategy of VortiX?
Kind of
Or
looked
is
like it,
ISIS
especially with the prosperity and the priest spam, like you mentioned. It really worked out well.
well, that's the thing though, is that he went for the skill of play, which is not his typical strategic choice. Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
discrepancy after about 10 minutes.
Is that
Hold
Ancestors
on.
Eclipse that's causing this this this
I mean,
thing?
that's bronze. No, no, no.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
Ancestors
is.
Eclipse.
It is. It
It's
is.
it's so big. Having at that point, he not only idled the entirety of Vortex's economy, he also
Uh,
took over the left side of the fishing economy. And it's just
yes.
two things at once. And Magic's economy, meanwhile, was unscathed. So 17 vills killed by Magic. Are you kidding?
I'm not even joking. So, even joking. Honestly, I think that here's my take on that game. So, like I mentioned early on, Vortex typically goes for Hades or Zeus, and he either takes a forward TC or he goes for some aggressive Athena play with hoplites, right? And he did. I wonder if he kind of played the 4D chess. He knows that that's what he has shown in other games, and so he shifts things up, he twists, he shakes things up by going for the fast heroic play, trying to surprise Magic. But Magic goes ISIS. He makes a couple of priests, and it's a pretty easy counter to that surprise tactic, the surprise strategy.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it also came down to the fact that the town centers were so poor. The ones in the middle
Yeah.
were so aggressive and really hard to get to without losing anything. And then the town centers on the side were really, really poor and far away. So if I'm trying to put myself in Vortex's shoes, say that's my go-to strategy, and then I see the town centers, I'll say, oh, okay, I'm not going to do that. What can I do then? I don't know. Guess I'm going heroic for the fast Scylla, right?
You think that he made it? It sounds like you're saying he made the decision on the fly. I think he did more prep for that. I think he planned that from the beginning.
Yeah, but looking at the map, just realizing I cannot go for the 2 TC play because the map just doesn't present that option for me very well.
Well, but aside from the 2 TC play, but still, you have aggressive Athena as well.
Yeah, it's true.
He
Yeah,
was Zeus. Well, it is what it is, and ultimately we got Magic. Magic is ahead 2-zip. So, Magic's on the warpath, man. This is kind of the narrative that we've been talking about. Vortex getting the upset in the Wooloo tourney. Can Magic? That's the question. Which Magic is gonna show up today? The beast, the goat, the behemoth,
I
the
wonder, will we get our first Kronos victory here? It is that watering hole map, and like I mentioned when we were talking about the draft, Kronos does have some potential, does have some options available to him on watering hole, I think, because of his because of how good he is at booming. He can get that second TC up in no time with that manner building boost that he's got. And then the fact that Watering Hole sometimes presents you with a tremendous map with near infinite amounts of hunt and gold mines available to you. Kronos can really shine on Watering Hole. You can time shift buildings over onto your opponents. So even if your opponent has a nice defensive river, you can just time shift buildings over it, and it doesn't matter too much.
I'm a little bit surprised that you're saying that, Soup. I mean, yes, there are options for Kronos on Watering Hole, but I think that in general, Watering Hole to me seems like a fairly weak Atlantean map, just because of how big it is. Um, the potential for the game to go late, especially against Hades, the potential for a match on Watering Hole to go late is viable because of what you just said, the safe resources. And so I think that the typical timings that you'll have on a more aggressive map like Blue Lagoon or Savannah or Ghost Lake or maps like that, I don't think they apply in the same manner on Watering Hole. So you can take the middle of the map and get some TC advantage. but that's not as big an advantage on Retold because you can build more houses, bigger populations, blah 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 blah. So I don't think that Atlantean is a really strong pick for watering hole in general. But that might be bias from back in the old AOM days. Retold is a different story by all means, but that's
Yeah,
just
so
like my
I'll
opinion,
tell you
man.
the game plan that Magic will have here.
Okay.
He's probably gonna go for 330. Could be a what is it then 355 as well. He's gonna time shift his temple forward, and then he's gonna have three Prometheans, the two starting one. He's gonna build another one as well, and he's going to have some raiding the gold mine or the wood line or the hunt or whatever, and then he'll have also one or two Prometheans covering the second TC. And in doing so, he forces VortiX to build two heroes in order to protect himself. And in building two heroes, he's going to delay that second TC quite a lot. And meanwhile, Magic only invests into one additional Promethean, which is a very, very small investment. So he's going to get that second TC up really quickly, like I said, because he's Kronos. And with minimal investment, he's going to delay VorTex's TC quite a bit.
But that's kind of what I'm saying though, Soup, is that sure, Kronos can get a fast TC up, blah blah blah. The map is pretty big with pretty safe resources. So what does Kronos do after that? Because okay, fine. So he delays the boom. The Hades player VortiX can expect that and have a slightly later TC, second TC for himself. But what does Kronos do after that is kind of my point. Because there's safe resources and at least two safe
Well, you
town
can take
centers
over the
for
middle
Hades.
then. You can take over the middle, and you can even get out a bunch of oracles. How about that? You can get out a bunch of oracles, and you can start spamming Prometheans. That's
You think
really
it's that
effective.
strong against Greek?
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you
yeah.
said that before. Is it that strong?
It's so good. Greeks only have two heroes, remember? And say that you already got found a really nice advantage for yourself, and then on top of that, you start pumping out those myth units that Greeks have such a hard time against. I think it's good. And
I mean,
even if it's not Prometheans, it can be satyrs, it can be a bunch of chaos god powers. There's so much that you can use your favor on when you're against Greek.
well, so Eric in the chat is saying Hyperion, Satyrs, and Implosion. Indeed, indeed, but it's not like Hades doesn't have his own options.
I think it'll be interesting to see, and I hope Magic is going to go for some form of variation of the strategy that I said, where you force the Hades player to get the two heroes out, and all they're going to do is basically ensure that the town center goes up, and then in turn, Magic is going to have a very, very good advantage in getting the TC up, maybe even a minute earlier. And even if he's lucky, he can even get a villager kill with those early Prometheans. They're very strong. You can force out the Sentinel on the home TC, which you don't want to do on Watering Hole. You want to fight over the middle, right?
Yeah. Honestly, Soup, I think I have bias against Kronos in that I have seen Kronos lose essentially every single game in tournaments thus far, and and I have personal bias against Atlantean on Watering Hole specifically from the old AOM days. So I believe you, I trust you, by all means. I am skeptical, however. It looks like we're just about ready to jump into this game if our little timer is correct. So we'll find out soon enough.
I want to see the
Um,
Kronos win.
okay. Well, here we are, folks. Excuse me, Magic up here in the right-ish side of the map in the blue, playing Kronos on Watering Hole. I am skeptical, but it is what it is. VortiX on the left-hand side. In the red, we have Hades. Okay, so I am skeptical of Kronos here, Soup. You are not. I think maybe part of it has to do with safe resources, safe gold mines, etc., etc. I think that's okay. So you say that Kronos has a lot of potential to do early damage with Prometheans, delay second town center takings, and whatnot. Talk to me about VortiX's base. Where would you time shift the temple? We're gonna assume that's a strat. Where would you time shift the temple? Where can he
Left
do
side.
damage here early with Prometheans?
I want to time shift my temple where the town center is. And then with my
Okay.
first two Prometheans, I'll send them to the other side. And that will force VortiX to send Jason there, or his Arcade hero, to protect against those two. And then when he goes for that secondary TC, you build a new Promethean, and you attack the second TC with that third Promethean that you got, basically forcing the Hades player to build 2 heroes.
And you follow it up with the second town center, right?
Yeah. And you're gonna, because you're Kronos, you have the strong Atlantean early economy. You've got the faster building construction since you're Kronos. You're gonna get that second TC up a lot sooner. And then you build an advantage, and from that you take control of the middle, and you start winning skirmishes with your myth units, with satyrs, with chaos, eventually ending it in a big boom with the implosion. That's the game plan.
Okay, well, having said that, Magic is up 2-0, as the Kronos player. So let's see if he pulls off the strategy that you're predicting, that you're expecting. Um, I think that there's plenty of potential, 100% sure. It's not, but what is it? Okay, Mr. Theory Man, theorizing, etc., strategizer. Okay, what does Hades do? How does
So
Hades win? What's the path to victory?
Hades finds a way where he doesn't have to invest into Achilles. He takes care of all the Prometheans with just Ajax. He gets his second TC up in a really good time, and then he finds himself a lot of nice hunt. He manages to just not invest too much to be able to still hunt and still gold around the map, and then he will eventually be able to get to the late game where he just wins because he's Hades, right? Was that deconstruct on the temple? Yeah. So I think why Magic is doing this is because he wants to just force the idle villager time in building the temple again. And
Okay.
also, I wonder, can Ajax even pick up this relic? Yeah, he can. He can. Okay.
Yeah, there's about 30 seconds before Prometheus comes in, roughly. 30 seconds or so. Athena is coming in for VortiX on the red side. Where are those villagers going? They're a little bit lost. Hello. Anyway, so we're gonna have Athena against Prometheus here. Does this look like a second TC? Actually, check it out, dude. VortiX only has 3 on gold. That's not 2 TC territory. There's the Prometheans.
Magic is definitely going to TC, and VortiX, I think he's trying his best to go 2 TCs as well.
Okay, now he has 5 on gold. But still,
But
seems like he's a little bit late on gold, right?
Look at that Magic. He's got his town centers. He's begun construction on it already. And then meanwhile, VortiX, he's forced to use Sentinel. Like I said, you don't really want to do that, but it's been forced onto him now. And just trying to be as annoying as possible with these Prometheans. Those 2 Prometheans, Magic knows they're not going to survive for much. They're not here for long. So he's just trying to be as annoying with them as possible. And as soon as one dies, he's splitting them because, like I said, you want to see if you can force an Achilles out. And he actually does force the Achilles out. I don't even know if the Achilles is necessary, but VortiX has invested into it. And what it means is that the second TC from VortiX is going to be so delayed, so very much delayed. Whereas Magic, he's almost now, I imagine, built he's got it now. Yeah, he's got his second TC now already. This is such a nice start for Magic. Such a nice start.
Indeed. With only the 2 Prometheans as well. You wanted him to build a third one, but the 2 free ones doing, sufficient damage and distraction, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that said, VortiX really didn't have to go for that Achilles. But yeah, look at VortiX. He's gonna have that second TC in so late. And there will be a lot of opportunity for Magic to take control of the middle here, and from that point onwards, he can do a bunch of different things. But one opportunity for sure is to go Satyr spam or even Promethean spam, and utilize the fact that Greeks have so few heroes to play around with. Seeing the second TC being built here from VortiX, actually managing to take Magic off of this forward hunting spot. That's really well done with just the Minotaur and the Achilles, but we are starting to see the Termas coming in, Hero Terma as well. It's just a question of time before Magic can go back to that hunting spot.
There's a TC coming in.
Nice. Good job on VortiX though. He forced Magic away from that spot, and now he's taking down the manor. So he is getting some value with these 3 units, to be fair.
Those Terma though, man, we've seen those Terma be so oppressive, historically
Yeah.
with just the micro ability, if you understand what I mean. Look at that, they're doing pretty decent damage against Achilles for crying out loud, and they're Terma for crying out loud.
Oh, is that mana gonna survive? Looks kind of like he could maybe go and repair it, but he's not deciding to do it.
Is that worthwhile though, Soup? Like to use your units to just take out a manor? I guess you're stopping the gather time on those gazelles, but Minotaur's toast, Achilles and J-Jax, they can only do so much damage against the numbers of the Terma, right?
Yeah, you're right. Like taking down the manor is nice, but he lost a Minotaur in the process, and he's gonna lose Ajax now as well.
Yeah.
Maybe. Not quite losing Ajax, but a lot of his HP anyways. And now VortiX is just walling up his side of the map, so he's saying, all right, Magic, you can take control of the middle. I'm just going to ensure that my side is going to be safe.
Well, that's the thing. Eventually, he's got the 2 town centers. He's hunting. He's walling up exactly what you said. Okay, so he doesn't, in my opinion, I don't think that VortiX's base is that wonderful. He doesn't, like, the gold mine is just a little bit outside his hunt. He could have better hunt. It could be worse, as well. It definitely could be worse. But having said that, I think one really important thing, there's an armory coming up, which is interesting. One really important aspect is that there's a pretty decent gold mine for VortiX just on the south side of his base. It's very open. I mean, yeah, that guy
There's
right there.
gazelles nearby as well, so he definitely has stuff to play with. But this is a good raid with the Termas.
Yeah.
There's one dead villager, and he's blocking the path completely. VortiX not able to find a way through. And there's a third villager dead. What a raid here with these Termas. This is what I'm telling you. Throughout the day, Atlantia is so good against Greek with these Termas.
Wow. Honestly, Soup, I think I definitely I mean, by all means, Magic. We talked about Magic being, gonna get in with a deconstruction.
That's smart. He takes a relic. Is it a good one?
Brutal. I think it's decent.
Favor raid. Why not? It's so smart.
But still, like, Magic he's on the warpath, man. VortiX beat him in their last matchup. But he's on the warpath. He's out for blood. No holds barred. I don't know. VortiX is not looking that hot here. I underestimated this Kronos capability here.
Right. Magic is doing exactly what I told him. No, I didn't tell him to what I told you that he should do.
Yeah.
And it's working out exactly as planned. So all we need to see now is the heroic age timing in for Magic as well. And honestly, just take it from there. Aphrodite in for VortiX or not?
No, he canceled it. Why did he cancel it? Huh?
He's taking it again. I was saying maybe he wanted Apollo for the underworld, because I can see a scenario where VortiX just gets sort of stuck inside his own little corner here, and he wants to avoid that maybe with an underworld passage. But in the end, I think he says, curse, too good a god power, can't forgo it.
Okay, well, with no underworld, that means that VortiX is going to have to slowly push out from the front part of his base, eventually get some map control, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, by all means, it took him so long to get that second town center compared to Magic. Look at the eco numbers. I mean, it's just all blue. 62 compared to 45 eco pop. 30, 32 military pop compared to 5. It just seems like he's really far ahead. Really far ahead.
And Hyperion and Aphrodite are going to come in around the same time. And Magic is building, he's got 5 oracles, he's building a 6th one now. It's perfect. He really needs these oracles, because not only does he have the map control, meaning he can easily get them out, but he's gonna need it against the Greek player. He needs the satyrs, he needs the satyr upgrade, the Gemini, he's gonna need chaos spam as much as possible anyways. And yeah, I think Magic is just playing this flawlessly so far.
That's what we saw in his series against Shelty, man. He just literally was playing it so top tier, no mistakes, perfect timings, and so on and so forth. And it looks like he's continuing that momentum today. He's a hop, skip, and a jump away from a straight 3-0 sweep, man. I want 5 games, dadgummit. I've been robbed of game 5 3 times today. Thrice, some would say. I want a game 5, man. Let's go, VortiX!
You know, another thing we needed is a Kronos W, though, so we want to see that too. Oh,
How
here's
dare
a
he Kronos a win?
Oh, I like that chaos here because the lion was just about to use a really, really good special attack onto the army there, but it comes there actually. Ah, all
Was
in
that a
all, this
worthwhile?
wasn't the best chaos actually.
That's what I was gonna ask. Was that worthwhile? What's up with that chaos, man?
Yeah, wasn't the best. I think what Magic needed was more units nearby to really take full advantage of the sort of stun effect that the chaos provides. But
Yeah.
Magic still has big, well, military numbers is very equal now after the curse. Forcing Resto is really big here for Magic.
I mean, by all means, Soup, Hoplites and Talks, and some heroes and maybe a lion or two. Is that the composition that's gonna really allow VortiX to push out here? But we've seen how strong those frickin' Cantarius are. We've also seen how strong those frickin' archers are. Those Talks are heavy, by the
Yeah,
way.
heavy Tox and heavy Peltas, they can do some serious damage here
Is
with
VortiX
the...
looking okay here? What's your take? He's way behind on eco numbers.
VortiX is looking better than he was a minute ago. The Curse, Chaos action there definitely favored VortiX. And it's giving him some way back into this game. You see him contesting the middle now. I wouldn't have bet on this a minute ago, but kind of doing it now. 4 Satyrs in for Magic. This is the power of the Oracle spam that Magic is doing here. And the Achilles is taken care of. Ajax is not on the field. There's no Chiron either. And now now VortiX is forced to retreat. Satyrs doing a tremendous job. Chiron is in now. You hear Maiden? I can't hear you. I guess Maiden is out for the moment. But Maiden is out for a minute. 5 Satyrs now on the side of Magic and lots of Arcus. Some melee units there too. And what VortiX needs to do now is get all 3 heroes out and try to make a move. I don't know. Really nice Contarius raid here. Lots of dead wills here. 92 to 65 at the moment. The Contarius raid, so effective here. They only need very, very few hits to kill these villagers, as we see. And the hoplites, they can chase them away, but they're so slow. And even then, you see, he's still forced to retreat these vills. Over in the middle here, we see a lot of archers, a lot of satyrs. So the game plan for Magic in this unit composition is to have the Arcus target down the heroes, and then the Satyrs does the rest. Very, very simple unit composition. Whatever melee unit he's got, honestly, the main point of them being there is to be a sort of meat shield for your Arcus and for your Satyrs. And we see Atlas coming in now for Magic.
I think that might be the KO right there, Atlas. Like I was gonna say, this army of VortiX, it's starting to get pretty strong. You're absolutely right about those satyrs, however. Look at all those dead bodies! Oh!
The Satyr special attack is a force to be reckoned with. Achilles is a force to be reckoned with too, though. And he's surviving the Arcus onslaught there. So, okay, Atlas is in, but you do see actually VortiX using this downtime where Magic has invested 2,000 resources for the Mythic Age, and this gives VortiX the opportunity now to have a bit of a control of the middle.
Yeah, but how long is it gonna last, Soup? How long is it gonna last? His army could just be deleted like we saw earlier on Blue Lagoon, and then after that, Magic can just ride the wave to victory.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if VortiX smells the mid-wow, another chaos coming in. Wow. No, was that a Satyr special attack there? Because I was gonna say this could have been even more devastating with more Satyr special attacks, but managing to take down this entire army. I thought this was what Implode was for, but he does it with Chaos instead.
He doesn't even need Implode, man.
I guess
That's
not.
just icing on the cake. The military numbers are dwindling, and our best of 5 is also dwindling. No!
What a performance from IamMagic.
Wow, man. Magic sweeps. He gets his 3-0 revenge, Soup.
You didn't believe in the Kronos. And
No.
then Magic does this.
Indeed. I did not believe in Kronos. I mean, especially on Watering Hole, Magic not only gets the 3-0 sweep, the 3-0 revenge against VortiX, he also gets the first Kronos. Well, let's check our, fact check me on that. But he may or may not have the first Kronos win of the tournament as well.
Well,
Convincing series.
yeah, and honestly, Kronos looked strong here. Kronos looked really, really strong. All the good
Yeah.
things about Atlantean, he pulled them out. There's the Satyrs, there's the Heavy Contarius, there's the Implode inevitably going to happen very soon. Like, Kronos has a lot of good stuff going for him. It's just finding the proper way to utilize Kronos' bonuses to get there. So with Gaia, it's simple, you boom a lot. But with Kronos, you have to be a bit smarter about it.
Well, it just seemed like, dude, this game number 2, Carolauer, along with this game, it seemed like VortiX just played right into Magic's hand, right? Check out that eco difference. Magic with they both took 2 town centers, but the second TC for Magic came in way earlier. He was just so far ahead in economy, exponentially, ahead in economy.
Yeah,
Well
and
done.
Magic had an easy time going from resource to resource, whereas VortiX had to constantly fight for it. And this also affects a graph line like this because a lot of idle time walking back and forth, it's going to negatively affect this graph for sure.